Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest in the building. Emmanuel is in the building. What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, man. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. Your new project out now. Congratulations.
Definitely Nobody But Me out right now. This is my camera.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's your camera.
But Me out right now. On
Dope
all
ass
DSPs.
project.
Thank you very much.
Long time coming.
Very long time.
We're gonna get into all that, but like first of all, I want to give a big shout out to my guy Hip Hop Mike, who was one of the first people to put me on to you. Obviously, watched that interview that y'all had did. You were 14 at the time.
Yeah, 14 years old. Big shout out Hip Hop Mike, man. That's my guy still to this day.
Pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic, I believe I think 2019.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's been showing love.
So you're 17 now.
Yeah, 17 years old, about to turn 18 next month.
You don't look 17. You look like 20 something. Like
I mean,
early. Like I think it's like between the music and like the energy.
it's
the music and the energy. I feel like it just you present yourself as older. I don't know if people give you that or not.
A lot of people tell me I present myself as more mature, so I try my best.
Like a grown up type shit.
I'm trying.
With this project, right? Well, first and foremost, like when you were 14 and you were kind of like in that period of time where you were really like blowing up online and you were everywhere, like was that weird for you being like so young like that and getting like these big looks, getting all like this attention on you?
Yeah, it's crazy. To be very transparent with you, the first day that it happened, I was at my cousin's house back in Carolina when everything first started happening, and for a day I just I let myself be a kid and enjoy that, and then the next day I woke up and kind of accepted the responsibility that came with it. I was like, okay, it's time to start grinding now. And from that point forward, it was like, this is what I do now. You know what I mean? Like I have a responsibility to give a message to the people. So that's what it's been for that long, to be honest.
So in 24 hours, you were just okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I always felt like it's crazy because I would quietly be writing raps and quietly, be trying to hone in on my craft without telling anybody. So it felt like it was only in due time. Now, I never expected it to start happening to me at 13 years old. But,
right.
I mean, it was like, well, it got to happen at some time. So when it happened, I was just like, yeah, this is God talking to me.
And you just went with it.
100%.
So like you started going like viral online and whatnot, and then it's obviously like, you're talking about like your influences and Cole. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Bond, North Carolina.
So you're from North Carolina,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So it makes sense that you have that type of influence from Cole too.
Most definitely. No, Cole is definitely a great influence for me. And shout out to Cole, shout out to all the guys I know from Dreamville. But you know what I mean, as I've grown as a person and gotten older, I feel like the Cole influence, and also as well as the other influence I have, they'll always be there. But it's like now I'm starting to really, it's like, okay, this is Ray. You know what I mean? And I know what that sounds like to me now. And especially like something that you could hear on the project and these more projects to come. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, it's turning into something beautiful though.
Did you ever get to meet Cole?
Not thus far, no.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that have been trying to set something up between me and him just to, honestly, it would be dope to exchange energies, you know what I mean? But, everything happens when it's supposed to.
Surprised it hasn't happened already.
I mean, listen, you can't force nothing.
I know, you can't force nothing. Or at least not even like in the like, somebody got to set it up, but in the sense of like, y'all haven't like crossed paths at all, whether being in like North Carolina or this or that.
Yeah, I mean, we do be in a lot of the same places. I'm aware of that, but I mean, everything happens in due time. All I can do is continue to work and work myself into a position where that doorway can open itself up a little easier too.
Right. What has been like, I guess, obviously, the project's out now. I'm going to get into that next, but what has been, I guess, like the crazy experience looking back at these now 4 years since you kind of really started popping off online? Like, what was like the one moment that you kind of felt like was more like surreal than life and kind of like just going into that and being like, damn, man, like this is nuts. Like, or maybe you met someone or you got to speak to somebody.
To be honest with you, a lot of time I can't even pinpoint one moment.
Okay.
But a lot of times it's really just going back and listening to the music I was making at 13 and 14 years old, and the discernment and like how prophetic some of the things I was saying was, because I'm looking at the lifestyle I'm living at this very moment, and I'm going back and listening to that, and it's like, yo, the things that I said I would do and the things that were so out of this world to me as a 13-year-old kid, but I just knew in my heart I would do it. I've done so much of it already at 17, and I know that it's just the beginning right now. So it's like really the moments where I think about where I came from, where I'm at, and where I'm going. Those are the moments that really make me feel like, I know that I'm on the right path, and that's just like confirmation for me.
I love that. So like, obviously this project is something that I'm sure you were thinking about and you were trying to work on and really trying to get out there for a while.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like it took like this long of a period of time for you to
To
make it
be
happen?
honest, I've been trying to work on this idea uh, that has now come to fruition specifically for past 2 or 3 years, to be honest. But it really just took a period of time of locking in and cutting out all distractions and also finding exactly what I want my voice to be for this. And it was understanding that this isn't going to be a concept album. This isn't going to be a project where I understand that I have everybody's ears and hearts just yet, but this is more of a project that I can showcase exactly who I am and tell a little bit of my story and really gain the interest of more people so they can understand this is what he can do, and this is just a glimpse into the world of who Ray Emmanuel is. But it's like, and there's so much more to offer, and not rushing myself. So as soon as I stopped rushing, we really were able to get this first step out. So now that's the first step. So it's like now project number two should be coming very soon because
Mhm.
now that we got the stepping stone out of the way and then the first step out of the way, everything else is coming way more naturally.
Right. Okay. So like, and so this was just for you, like the intro, and then the next, but because you told me like when we sat down, you're like, oh yeah, I'm in New York recording my second project already. Like
Most
we're
definitely.
already here, like about to get this shit rocking, get this shit kicking.
That's the plan.
That's crazy. So you in a point now where you just ready to drop.
Oh, I mean, I definitely feel like I'm in album mode. I don't want to call these albums per se. These are more mixtapes to me. When
Mm.
I think about the era I'm in right now, I kind of think about, as far as just ability and just attention, I feel like this should be my like '08, '09 Wayne type era where he's killing his own shit and he's killing everybody else's shit. Definitely trying to grab other people's beats and do better than they did on their shit. But also just, it's all about respect too. So just earning that respect and earning, knowing my place in this shit and knowing that I deserve a spot in a name on the list.
I love that. So with this project, why the name for it? Why? I know you got tatted too, right?
Yes, I gotta tell
It's
you,
not a
it
fake
is.
tat either, right?
No, sir.
Nobody but me.
Nobody but me.
Did you get was the tat? What came first, like the name or the tattoo?
The name came first.
Okay.
And basically the way the way that the name Nobody But Me first came about was just the concept of having no features and trying to go on this run and kill everybody on everything. But and that wasn't it wasn't important enough to get it tatted on me at that point.
Yeah.
But then as just I continued to go through life and I was dropping a little bit and trying to tease a little bit into what I had coming before the project came out, I really just saw in my personal life, what I mean, how the examples of how sometimes you have to love people for who they are and know people in the role that they play in your life, but you can't put too much faith in anybody, even when you love them, except yourself. You always have yourself and God. So that's when Nobody But Me came about, and really it became something more to me. And I knew that I wanted to get it tatted when I was realizing just how fast certain things are happening for me, and knowing that I'm gonna be 30 years old and be able to look back at this moment and that tattoo and realize this is when I was 17 and I moved to LA and things started happening for me. This is where it all got started. So that's definitely why I got it tatted.
Okay, so it's not like something where it's like you're gonna have the tattoo of every project that you have eventually come out.
I mean, it all depends on how things
That
happen
should
with my
make a fire
discography as
album
well.
cover. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you had like all the album names, all
No,
of them.
it would. It all depends on the journey.
I'm not trying to
bro.
give you some crazy idea.
Hey, nah, I've thought about it as well though. Zach,
Really?
We actually I talked about it a little bit. It all depends on what we do though. But Nobody But Me, that's the first step. So we gonna keep going from there.
That's fire. Would you get like if you did the next album tattoo? Would you do it on the same arm? Or you do it on the other arm?
Probably same arm.
Same arm. Just
build
keep
it out
going.
and then extend on the left.
Okay. So you feel like you're in your Wayne era right now. You're 08, 09 Wayne era.
I feel like I'm definitely in that era where I know what I do on that microphone, and there's nobody that can tell me otherwise. And because of that, it's time to just show everybody else.
Right.
I mean, I'm already on board. They're already on board. It's time to just get the word on board now.
Get more fans, get more people
100%, but
part of the movement.
The music speaks for itself.
Right. That move to LA that you talked about for you, was that like, how did you handle that? Because that's like a very big difference from North Carolina.
Oh, 100%. I was a little more ready than most would be, just a little bit, tad bit, because I was already coming from the age of 14. I was coming out to New York, spending most of my time. New York became pretty much my second home at 14, and I was spending most of my time there before the pandemic, and then on Miami as well with those boys. So LA was something I was a little more prepared for, but nothing can honestly fully prepare you for that. So I was 16 when I moved out there in February 2021, and that's when the entire journey of working on Nobody But Me specifically first first started. You know what I mean? And that journey in itself is something that I still deal with to this day. But I can definitely feel myself getting way more comfortable and way more, expressive and comfortable in my skin. And it wouldn't happen, honestly, probably wouldn't happen at the rate that it's happened if I didn't move. So I mean, it's a blessing in its own way.
Do you feel like the LA scene also kind of like influenced like the music you're making now?
A little bit. I mean, I had to see the world. You know what I mean? Like I had to
Yeah.
see more. And coming from the small town of Bunn, North Carolina,
How small is it?
I'm talking about my high school. My high school has the full 800 people at my high school.
800. Wow, that's
Yeah,
it.
my graduating class like 200.
Okay.
Like very very
I
small
think my
town.
graduating class is like 400.
Everybody knows everybody type vibes.
Okay,
what I'm
got
saying?
you.
So coming from that, and then to moving to LA, to seeing New York, to understanding that culture, to being on a private jet to Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, all of these things gave me perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things that's what helping me learn like just how important the valuable things in life are, and how not important these things that we focus and stress so much on are how minimal that is in your life. So that's what just helping my perspective overall, and it's making me make better music, in my opinion. I mean, so I needed that.
What was your favorite place that you got to travel to?
Favorite place to be honest, a lot of people, all my guys gonna kind of disagree, but Zach gonna disagree with me for sure. But New York is still my
Really?
favorite place.
Out of all the places you traveled to,
Every place.
you just talked about the plane to the Bahamas, right?
Yeah, I like Dominican Republic,
I'm sorry, Dominican.
Puerto Rico, all that. But like New York, no matter what, like New York, I have a different type of special spot for New York as well, because I mean, for me, just as a lyricist as well, like knowing New York being the birthplace of hip hop, I just feel so much more connected to that root here. You know what I mean? It's connected to my ability and those that I look up to as well. And, Nas being my favorite rapper, and Jay being one of my favorites, you know what I'm saying? And Cole being one that moved out from Carolina to New York when he went to college, and how he met Jay.
Yeah, I
and
went to
all
the
of
same
those
school
things,
as I went to the same school as Cole.
Well, you went to St. John?
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, full circle. But
Yeah.
all of those things play a part. Also, my family's from Jersey, so it's like being out here on this side. It's nothing like it to me.
Yo, it's mad funny because really when Cole did the 2014 Forest Hills Drive stuff, and remember the video where he was on the back of the bus? That was like a bus that we used to take all the time.
Word. Are you talking about when he was like making the beat on the back of the bus?
It wasn't the beat. It was one of the songs he dropped before, or was it after 2014 Forest Hills Drive, where he dropped like those videos. He was talking about like Wale in the song. I forgot what the name of that.
Know what you're talking about. Yep.
I forgot what the name of the song is, but he filmed it on the bus, and he filmed himself in the corner store again, like getting
False
food.
prophets.
False prophets. There you go. And that was like a bus in a corner store that we would be on all the time.
Oh, that's crazy.
So like it was like we're like, and I'm in school at the time, so we're just like, oh, so Cole's just riding the same bus as us, like like around Queens and shit like that. Like that shit was really crazy to me.
No, yeah, that's different. I was low-key listening to False Prophets the other day, so that's kind of crazy watching that video.
Yeah, and what other Cole story do I have? I didn't get to interview him ever when he came to the school for the Forest Hills Drive, but we were lucky enough to have like Kaz and Omen on.
Oh,
And
that's fire.
Boz wasn't there, but I ended up relinking with Boz like not far down the line. But I just think it's funny how like all those things kind of like coincide and whatnot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shout out Kaz, shout out Mees, all of those guys. Those are my guys. But yeah,
You could be from Queens.
a lot of people tell me if I don't say I'm from North Carolina, a lot of people assume I'm from New York first.
Really?
Yeah,
What do you think it is? A mannerism, maybe?
maybe just the way I carry myself. I'm a little bit more like low key but aggressive in certain ways. It just depends. But
How are you aggressive? Like how you carry yourself? I guess on your raps, obviously.
just tough, just kind of a tough layer of skin that was built by life. But that's very New York shit as well.
I know that. I was about to say you really like you went from the small town to the New York thing, but it's like it's the same. Like it coincides. You know what I'm saying? Like that tough skin.
For sure. And my whole family from Jersey, so all of that.
So you got those connections.
For sure.
What do you feel like? You talked about like the tough skin, and like what do you feel like were those things that really helped? That like well not help, but like molded that tough skin.
Man, I had to grow up, bro. Seriously, in the sense of, you know what I mean? Especially being a kid that went viral at 13, 14, and was heavily in the rotation of a lot of things in the media at that age. I just had to go through life and understand, like, quicker than a lot of people understand that everybody's not your friend. And even people that you thought were family, aren't gonna treat you like family a lot of times, or are gonna expect more from you than you can really give, and expect you to play the role of God when you can't. And I had to learn that at 14 years old, and just a sense of, you know, just certain things that a lot of people learn as an adult. But it's like it helped me when you talk about, you know, carrying myself maturely and present myself a little bit quote unquote older. I feel like that's really all it is. It's just kind of going viral and things of that nature. Just sped up my process of what I had to learn, and it's a privilege to have learned these things. It's a privilege to have like being able to touch as many people as I did at a young age and do what I'm doing right now, and also just, you know, be able to learn these lessons that a lot of people don't learn it too. It takes so many more years, so that's a blessing.
Also, you also went viral during the pandemic. I think it was when all the protests were going on, the Black Lives
Yeah, there
Matter
was
protests. I saw you on a bunch of news stations.
yeah, basically there was what after George Floyd and everything was happening, Ahmaud Arbery, I had I had dropped a few freestyles about that were, you know, heavily in rotation at that time, and it was really just, you know, a lot of people asked me about that too, just in the sense of like, oh, I guess new information coming about, you know, George Floyd's case or Ahmaud Arbery's case or whatever the case may be. I felt like, you know, no regrets there. I felt like I'm always stand with my people on that, and I said what I said for a reason, and it touched a lot of people, and it may have rubbed some people the wrong way, which is fine. But regardless, that was something that was able to help me and a lot of other people that share the same experience as me. So I wouldn't do nothing different there either. But that was definitely something that happened. All these things that kind of just put me in the spiral a little bit to prompt me to get to where I'm at right now.
Word. I love that. Yeah, I was watching like all like the little Good Morning. It was like, was it Good Morning America? It was like a
It
few
was
different
yeah
TVs.
yeah 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 yeah.
They had like
There
a
was
few different
things,
clips
yeah.
about you up and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I'm like, even during the pandemic, you went viral.
Yeah, just, you know, being back home, being back in North Carolina, and but knowing that there was still so much going on, so I couldn't be silent at all. And you know, that's I'm a keep operating like that too. I mean, just because I'm a rapper and I may be quote unquote doing rapper shit, I'm always stand with my people on certain things and always have a voice and have the ability to use it. I
Word.
mean, that's the important thing.
So we're in mixtape number 2 mode now.
Most definitely, mixtape number 2 is on the way. We working right now, so just locked in.
It's all you on it.
All me thus far. No features. We have no features. I don't need no features. But I mean, as things progress, still trying to, you know, see whatever we can make happen. Obviously, but right now it's still just me trying to, you know, we proving a point. I'm proving a point.
I feel like at some point you gotta link up with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Obviously, in
People,
due
I'm
time.
sure, ask about it, like when you're gonna do some songs with other people.
A lot of people, I get a lot of people talking about, you know, they try to, and that's another thing they try to do with the whole Cole thing. They be like, oh, you trying to be like Cole, no features, who do it, whatever. But I just feel like in this area and time, I know that I can murder a lot of instrumentals myself, and I will do so. But obviously, that doesn't mean I'm not shying away from no features, because I think that there are a lot of songs that I do have in the tuck that would be super dope with features, or just songs that I know that I haven't made yet that would be dope with features. So definitely, that's something on the list as well.
That's fire. I was gonna ask you something else about features. Oh, Graph, I saw you did that one song. I mean, that's that one song.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, shout out Graf, shout out my nigga Nails, shout out those boys. Yeah, man. That was a dope experience for me, honestly, because that was something that was going on in that period of time during the pandemic when a lot of things was going on. Still to this day, obviously, but that was going on at the time. And Graf and my guy Nails had reached out to me, and it was like, you know, we want the young boy to give his perspective and his generation's perspective on how it's like growing up with, you know, a prejudice on you and a target on your back in certain environments, you know what I mean? So I was like, I have to, you know, I'm gonna bless that for him for sure. So Graf, that's my guy for sure. He shows love all the time. So shout out Graf, shout out Nails. Yeah, that was dope. That was definitely dope.
Yeah, you mentioned like, you know, dealing with, like, the young perspective like these times. It's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
The
mean, you know, obviously
dealing
Graf
with police
being
stuff, and then, you know, now when we record this, it's July 5th, so there was just like however many mass shootings
yeah,
yesterday.
like things. It's a crazy
Philadelphia
world
had a
we live in.
shooting too, I think.
Crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
But you know, the what can reach people, like music is such a tool to use your voice, and you never know how many people can benefit from your perspective or relate to your perspective. So all I can do and all we can do as artists is tell our stories, and you know, the world will do what they will. But I mean, from what I've seen and from what people tell me, a lot of times, you know, when I do share my perspective and that vulnerability in the music, people appreciate that. I mean, so that's not something I plan on slowing up on ever.
Word. That's fire, bro. I love your mindset on everything.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So mixtape number 2 is on the way.
Yes, sir.
We got the project out now, obviously. How
Nobody
many
but
projects
me.
you plan on dropping this year? Just these 2?
As far as in the plans, these 2, possibly a third, but we working.
We
That's
gonna
all
see
I'm
it. We gonna
saying.
make it happen.
I'm staying locked in.
All right, cool. And we got the freestyle out now, so make sure y'all go check that out. He bodied it. You already know he was gonna body it. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that he was gonna kill it. Before we sign off here for the day, let the people know where they can follow you at. Anything else you want to let them know? This camera right here.
Most definitely. Follow me on IG at Ray Emmanuel. All the music, Nobody But Me, out right now on Spotify, Apple Music, all the DSPs, iTunes. Buy it, stream it, everything. We showing love. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you for tuning in.
Appreciate you, bro. Make sure you go follow him, go show him love, go run up that freestyle, go support his music. Love and support is free. Y'all already knew that, though. Till next time, Ray Emmanuel on the radar.
Love,
My guy.
peace.
Appreciate you. Dope.